Hello everyone. My name is Dhanya. I hope you all are doing good. So I'm going to talk about this novel Ghachar, which is written by Vivek Shanbhag, and it was originally written in Kannada by Vivek, and then it was translated by Srinath Perul. The story Ghachar by Vivek Shanbhag is a story that revolves around the complexities that arise within a family when their financial situation changes drastically. The title Ghachar. What does it really mean? Even I was not very sure about it, but it was a title that attracted me enough to choose this novel. The meaning of the title is really well explained in the book during the narrator and his wife's honeymoon. It was really funny. So I was leave up to you to explore it by yourself. But for now, you can understand its meaning as when you try to untangle up the earphones wire, then you become very annoyed. And at that situation, you can say that the earphone becomes Ghachar. The title Ghachar serves as a metaphor for the complications that arise within the family and the things start to change when the family starts a successful spice business and becomes financially sound. In the first half of the video, I'll be explaining the summary of the novel. In the second half, I'll try to explain the different themes through different characters of the novel. And in the last part, I'll give you some questions to think about, and please try to answer those questions in the comment box. I'll try to give the timestamp of each section in the description below. So let's start the summary. The story is about a middle class Indian family living in Bangalore. The narrator is an unnamed young man who works in the family spice business with his uncle named Chikkappa, and with his father named Appa. The family lives in a small house with his mother, uncle, sister Malati, and wife Anita. The family used to be really happy before they became rich. They used to eat together. They used to celebrate for the newly things they purchased, like new clothes, gas stoves. The narrator's father, we are told, used to be a spice salesman who worked for a large company. He worked hard to feed his family, but soon he lost his job and everyone became sad and worried. But then his brother Chikkappa introduces with the idea of starting uh, their own family business named Sona Masala to the narrator's family. Narrator's father agreed, and without even think about whether the business would run or not, he gave all his savings to Chikkappa, which was more than 1.5 lakhs. The business does bring them financial prosperity, but at the cost of their morality. Soon, the family can be seen spending money like water on things that aren't really necessary. Moreover, they can see their family ties falling apart. We can read this in the new house. We were locked in the cells of individual rooms, and there was no opportunity to exchange casual confidences. It can be shown that how the narrator felt lonely after they became rich. As the family's wealth increases, their relationships start to strain and they begin to spend less time with each other. The married lives of the siblings, Malti and the narrator, also present their own complications. Malati separates from her husband. I'm really sorry if I'm not pronouncing. I don't know whether it is Malati. So, uh, pardon for me that. So, Malti separates from her husband. The narrator then married to his wife Anita. Anita is aware of the family's dependency on Chikkappa's business, which she sees as somewhat unethical. She is repulsed by the fact that the uncle is the only one in the family who works and earns money, and that the rest of the family is content to live off his success without questioning his method. However, she also realizes that confronting Chikkappa could jeopardize the family's financial security. She used to fight with his husband for not earning by his own methods, and he is just relied on the Chikkappa's business. And the last, she feels trapped in the money-centered family dynamic. The novel does not attempt to resolve the tangled mess of the family's complications. And one day, Anita left the home suddenly, and she left the home for vacation to his mother's house, but she never returned back. The author leaves the reader wondering about Anita's return and the fate of the narrator's marriage. However, after Anita's departure, the family's complications seem to resolve and they return to their former happy state. I mean, this could be happen because the family used to be support each other, but Anita's used to fight against them because of the unethical ways they used to run the business. Overall, Ghachar Ghochar is a powerful exploration of the complexities of human relationships and the impact of financial success on a family. So next, I will try to explain the different themes through different characters. There are many themes like family dynamic, domestic violence, self-identity, patriarchal control. So this is going to be really interesting, and I'll explain through the characters. So let's start with Anita's first. In the novel, the theme of the oppression of women is explored through the character of Anita. Anita comes from a family which is allowed to speak her mind, and she was really well educated and respected by her family. However, when she marries into the joint family described in the novel, she is subjected to the patriarchal system and the regressive status of women. Anita is seen as a threat to the ideological foundation of the family because she revolts against the traditions of her new family. She sometimes even disrespected her elders to go against them. One day, she went against this family for like a woman named Tubbi knocked their doors. She brought masoor dal to Chikkappa. Amma thought that she is like mistress of Chikkappa, but it was never revealed that who was that woman. So Amma abuses her and told her to go back. But Anita did not like this behavior of the family that they went violent to that woman without even listening to that woman. Why did she came? Why did she bring masoor dal to Chikkappa? And why did Chikkappa didn't come to her even after listening to her voice? So she went against the family and called absurd statement to everyone in the family. One thing I didn't like about Anita, Anita was right, and like her her basics was right, but she used a very threatened way to solve the things, and like she is right, but she can't disrespect elders. Like she could be passed her statement in a more polite way. The novel shows how the women undertake reproductive labor to satisfy the men. For example, the Chikkappa sometimes flinging his clothes anywhere in the house and expect others women to wash his clothes and iron them. Overall, the character of Anita represents a theme of the oppression of women in the face of the patriarchal joint family system. Despite her agency and education, she is limited by the traditions and expectations of her family, ultimately becoming complicit in the oppression of other women in the family. Narrator. In the novel Ghachar Ghochar, the narrator serves as a lens through which the reader sees the world of the patriarchal joint family. The theme of identity and self discovery is explored through the narrator's journey of self realization and self awareness. At the beginning of the novel, the narrator is content with his simple life and his role in the family. He is described as a passive observer, someone who does not question the status and is content to let things happen around him. However, as the novel progresses, the narrator becomes more aware of the complexities of the family dynamics and his own role in them. The narrator's relationship with Chikkappa is particularly significant in this regard, as first the narrator idealizes his Chikkappa as the breadwinner of the family and the person who keeps everything together. However, as the novel progresses, the narrator begins to see the darker side of the Chikkappa personality, including his mistreatment of women because she saw women only as the household's worker. He also used to do frauds in his business. Through his experiences and observations, the narrator begins to question his own identity and the role he plays in the family. He begins to realize his passive role in the family has contributed to the oppression of women and the toxic dynamics that exist within the family. He could have like uh, like he could have make Chikkappa understand the role of women and the importance of women, but the bad thing about the narrator that he like remained silent throughout the story, and he was not very helpless throughout the situation and throughout the toxicity dynamics of the family. So through his story, the novel explores the theme of identity and self-discovery, highlighting the importance of questioning one's role in societal systems and the power of personal agency in creating change. So next we have narrator's uncle Chikkappa. In the novel Ghachar, the character of Chikkappa represents the theme of patriarchal joint family system and its impact on both men and women. Chikkappa is the central figure in the narrator's household, his father's younger brother, and the family's sole earning member. He is seen as a patriarchal figure who holds power and control over the family. Chikkappa's dominance is demonstrated through his seamless acts of organizing his clothes and expecting the women in the family to take care of his needs. He is heavily supported by the men in the family who view him as the main breadwinner of the family, and they also promote a toxic and psychologically damaging environment for women who newly enters their house. However, Chikkappa's power and control are also shown to be limited in some ways. Despite his dominance, he is unable to prevent his mistress, remember that Tunvi incident, from coming to their house, which results in verbal abuse and violence towards her. Moreover, his dependence on the women in the family for their reproductive labor also shows their vulnerability and limitations. Thus, Chikkappa's characters represents the theme of the patriarchal joint family system where men hold power and control but also face limitations and vulnerabilities. His character highlights the complex dynamics of family relationships and the impact of societal norm and traditions on individuals. Next, next we have narrator's father Appa. One of the themes in Ghachar that is explored through Appa's character is the impact of economic instability on family dynamics. Well, I really feel uh, sad about Appa because he lost his job and he is not, people think that he is not reliable anymore. Appa's success as a salesman and the breadwinner of the family provides him with a sense of power and control. However, when he loses his job, he loses not only his financial instability but also his sense of identity and purpose. This loss of power control over his own life as a ripple effect on his family, who also feel the impact of the economic instability. The theme is further explored when Appa's brother takes over the family business. While the business continues to thrive, Appa's sense of displacement and insecurity deepens. He feels that he has lost his place in the family and his identity. Um Overall, the theme of economic instability in Ghachar sheds light on the complex and often fraught relationships between family members when faced with financial insecurity and the loss of identity that come into it. Uh, Next, we have narrator's sister Malti. In Ghachar, Malti is the narrator's younger sister who is initially portrayed as being shy and reserved. She is often overlooked by her family members, including her brother, who seems to take her for granted. However, as the story unfolds, we learn more about Malti's inner life and the challenges she faces as a woman in this patriarchal society. Malti's decision to leave, she made a divorce to her husband, and that was a challenging situation to her because women are expected to be devoted to their husbands and prioritize their family above all else. Malti's decision to leave her husband and live independently is seen as a threat to these traditional expectations, and her family's response to her decision highlights the challenges that women face when asserting their independence. The theme of societal expectations is also reflected in Malti's character. Despite her desire for independence, Malti is criticized by her family for spending too much money. This criticism is rooted in societal expectations around how women should behave and spend their money. So overall Malti's characters were like expected uh, how women should behave when like spend and the curse of patriarchal society, the themes of gender roles, societal expectations. So next we have narrator's mother Amma. Amma is the narrator's mother and the wife of Appa. She is depicted as quite submissive character who is often overshadowed by her husband's dominating personality. Amma is responsible for managing the household and taking care of her family, and she is shown to be highly attuned to the emotional needs of her family and husband and children. Amma is also shown to be a source of strength and resilience for her family in times of crisis, like that to be seen. And she was also supportive of Malti during her divorce. One of the themes that is explored through Amma's character is the impact of patriarchal control on women's life. Amma is expected to follow her husband's rule and defer to his authority, which limits her agency and ability to make choices for herself. So, there are many unrevealed questions in the novel, what happened to the narrator's father and why did he disappear? Like we could see in the novel that we do not talk about Appa more, though Appa had a significant impact on the family. But after he lost his job, nobody really talks about him. And then the second question that is unrevealed, that why did the narrator's wife never return home? So I leave up to you to think about it. Please answer all of these questions in the comment section below. But in the novel, there are seen like we can think that narrator's wife was very was against of his family unethical way to run the business. So we might think that she never returned home because somebody in the family killed her. I don't know, but there are there could be more interpretation on it. So one question for girls I have, that if you would be in place of Anita and saw the culture of the narrator's family, what would you do? Would you try to make peace with the family or go against them? Like Anita was always against them if they were wrong, but she really chose the most rebellious way. And for the boys, I have question. The narrator never indulged in his mother, sister, and wife's fight. He remained silent. Was he right? Seeing that Anita was disrespecting his family, what should he be done instead? Like in modern world, we can see that when mother-in-law and wife fight, the husband never involved in the fight. So, do you think it is right? So these are the questions that I expect you to think about it, and I will also think about it. And I really like the novel because it does not have a unique story, but the way narrator explained it, I was lost in every character, and I could feel every character's feeling. So the story was really well explained, and you can read the novel in 1 or 2, like 2 to 3 hours. It's a really short novel, but it is I related it with very much. So thank you. I have selected some photos that was directly taken from Google, and some quotes that I have written from that are from the novel itself. So thank you.